Welcome to another episode of Gaining Performance. I'm your host. I am back with another video, and this time I want to discuss with you examples of how EOMM actually works during the match. Please take note that this is in my opinion. I'm not stating this as pure fact, but from my experiences. The discussion of EOMM has gained a lot of traction throughout the years. A lot of people have been talking about it through patents and all that good stuff. And now that EOMM is now being accepted in the card community, you need to know what to look for because no one has given decisive details as to what make EOMM tick and what you see in the lobbies. Some people think EOMM is happening during, lobby searching and all that stuff. There is only one example I found EOMM to actually work during the lobby, and that is when it kicks a lot of players out because of a certain player who has done well the last few matches, maybe got a nuke, especially when you get a nuke. I have noticed that if I nuke and I try to find a lobby, because I do lobby surf, I'll get into a lobby. Lobby has a mix of players in it. I'm good. I'm ready to play. And then all of a sudden, all those players will disappear. Out of 12 players, 6 to 8 of them will just disappear all at once, or they will sequentially leave the lobby. With the same frame pacing is impossible for 8 other players who don't know each other to do. If you're in a party, you don't leave sequentially. You just leave at once because the party host left. It's not that. It's something else. And that's why I say that's not skill-based matchmaking, because skill-based matchmaking is supposed to put everybody in the lobby of equal skill set, regardless of their opponents or teammates. But this is different. And that's why I say that's EOM, because you just nuked. They don't want your next match to be easy. And they do replace it with higher level players that are higher level than me. I know for a fact I've seen them play before, that I know they're good. So I know that this is what is happening in the lobby because I've played enough to know that sometimes I have repeat players that I play against and I know who's good and who's not. I always jot down the names of players like, okay, I don't think I want to play against this guy. I don't want to play against this guy. Another person would actually block those players, not because they don't want to see them again, but if they come up, it's a trigger for them to recognize that, oh, this player here, I don't want to play against this player. This EOM is going to put me against them, that kind of thing. I will add this. EOMM will pit you against players in a lobby that you have bad performance with. Otherwise, it is mostly found during the match. So I want to make sure that's clear. It's during the match. It's a service that happens during the match. Let us begin. I'm going to refer to people who play the game, don't break toss, are not cheating as the innocent. The reason why I do that is because they are innocent. They haven't done nothing wrong, but yet they are engaged in the way that shows that they're being mitigated or being punished just for playing the game. So make no mistake that I'm referring to myself and my gameplay experiences. Number one, innocent have bullet registration issues. It takes more bullets to down an opponent. It takes less bullets from an opponent to down you. Your bullets simply don't register hits, and it's more noticeable on sniper rifles than assault rifles or SMGs, especially when you got a headshot fire, you hit the target, but it just doesn't do anything. And another important thing is that you will have heavier than normal recoil. You know for a fact that something's not right. You know that it's not working the way it's supposed to be working. You know that you've put attachments on that gun that's supposed to lessen recoil, but yet it's as if you haven't even done anything. Number two, the innocent's hitbox increases exponentially. You'll know this because you'll come across a lobby where you're just the best player in the match and they can't hit you no matter what. You'll juke around them, you'll strafe around them, you'll always get them, and then you'll get close to it. And all of a sudden, the player that never hit you all match guns you down. I mean, just guns you down. That's an example of your hitbox getting bigger. They didn't gun you down because they got their aim on you. You notice that they're aiming to the left or to the right. You just notice that they just not hitting you, but all of a sudden they're registering. Their bullets are registering on you. And you will go down quicker. It was going to take less bullets for them to take you down. You always get away with that one extra shot that they need, but this time you don't need it. That happens. Opponents who actually miss their shots will still hit you. So that is when you know that they should not have hit you. And they do. I've had those opponents throw 8-9 feet past me and it still took me down. That's the kind of thing that you see when you know EOMM is in force. That grenade should have had nothing to do with hitting you or causing you damage, but it kills you. And I'm not talking about just an open space. That grenade goes 8 feet in around the corner, but yet you still die from it. You sit there and go, what? And that's another thing about EOMM. It'll have you verbally saying to yourself, what? Number three. The innocent have packet bursts triggered when firing the weapon or engaging enemies. I'm not talking about regular packet bursts when you're just running around trying to find an opponent or you're hiding in a corner. I'm talking about where it's triggered only when you are engaging an opponent. That is an example of why they say that packet burst is in line with EOMM. It also happened in Vanguard. It did not happen in Cold War. It did not happen in Modern Warfare 2019. I don't know why they never fixed it. They complained about it in Vanguard. It was the most top complaint in Vanguard. It was never fixed. It's the most top complaint in Modern Warfare 3. And people are believing that it has something to do with engagement optimized matchmaking, because I have seen it where I have run into a room, opponent is hiding in the corner, and all of a sudden I froze. And I'm like, what? Everything froze. And next thing I know, I have respawned in another area. I don't know what happened. I watched the replay. I see the replay for a few seconds. That froze too. It's a whole lot of weird stuff. And there's a large controversy with packet bursts in this game. Packet bursts in this game is very polarizing because of the experiences that people are having. They're just not having it in regular gaming sessions where they're not engaging enemies. It seems to happen the most engage enemies, which has nothing to do with connection problems. So that's why some people believe that packet bursts, such as myself, has something to do with how they trigger EOMM. Number 4, the innocent are revenge spawn on. Opponents downed are spawned behind the innocent for easy revenge kills. And it happens the other way, where the innocent are spawned around a corner from an opponent who downed them. It's a two-way street about EOMM. There are times where I've seen both happen. I don't know what triggers it. It's like engagement goes from one person to the next. At times, I know it doesn't make sense. It's when I say it's a live service, I mean that it's dynamic. It'll be working on you. It'll be working on somebody else. It'll be working on another person. It seems to just go around the table kind of thing. And it doesn't last long. I've never seen it last all match. I believe it happened all match in Cold War. Cold War was the worst when it came to engagement optimized matchmaking. Number 5, the innocent experienced triangulation kills, similar to revenge spawn kills. I call it triangulation. What is that? It is the exact same as revenge spawning, except more opponents are spawning around you, creating what's called a kill box. Now you can look that up. Basically, they deem that regular revenge spawning does not work on you, so we're going to try triangulation to get you to respawn. It's very devious. I've seen it happen only a handful of times. I happened to take out one person. I didn't really have any problems taking them out. Not only did they spawn in front of me, but 2 others to the left and right of me, slightly behind me. And that's why I call it triangulation. As I'm shooting him, them 2 are shooting at my character. I wind up having to respawn. I don't understand why this tactic is in the game to begin with. It's there. Number 6. Movement restrictions suddenly happen around certain players. All of a sudden, you got the correct equipment on. You're supposed to be able to strike fast. You're supposed to be able to move fast. But all of a sudden, you slow down. You can't move as fast. You can visually see this. And you're trying to figure out what's going on. You try playing with it, and it's just not working right. You aim down sight. It's a lot slower. You have an SMG, but you aim down sight at the speed of using sniper rifle or an LMG, and you can't figure out what's going on. Usually that happens, not all the time, not every single time, but usually that happens around a player that has been selected to be protected. I have seen this happen around, I don't know why, but it seems to be triggered around certain opponents. You may not even fire on them. That's why you don't know that it's happening, because of that opponent. But I've seen that it happens around that and doesn't make any sense. Number 7, your reticle and aim on certain players whip left and right like a windshield wiper. It is a thing. And again, around a certain person. I don't know what it is about this opponent. Every other opponent you don't have that problem with. At least I haven't. You may have had 2 of those opponents in your match. I haven't had 2 of those opponents in my match. Some of you may have 3 of them. I haven't had that. It is always 6 opponents. There's always been one opponent. That happens ever so often. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's always that one opponent. I can't kill them. I can't get my aim on them. Claymores don't work around them. Landmines don't work around them. Scorch streaks either ignore them or they do damage, but not enough to take them out. And they're running around like a chicken with their head cut off. It's not like they're a skilled player. They seem to be very docile and sentient in their gameplay style. They don't immediately fire upon an opponent when they see them. It takes them a moment to get their aim up to shoot. They don't seem to be very skilled at the game, and they have zero sense awareness. This is the traits of the individual that has this protection. Why that is, I have no idea, because why are they in my lobby? Activision put them in my lobby. I didn't put them in my lobby. They did. But yet they did, and they give them this level of protection, in which on my end, I'm seeing these problems. I'll try to throw a grenade at them, and for whatever reason, let's say they're in a room and there's a window, and I'll try to throw a grenade at the window. I'll put my center dot on the center of the window and throw the grenade, and the grenade will list to the right or to the left, but mostly it's always to the right. It will miss the window completely. I'm only 5 feet from the window. These are the kind of things I've seen. This is EOMM. In other words, EOMM breaks the game mechanics. You're supposed to see that the mechanics work this way, but you have no documentation that when EOMM is enforced, the mechanics work and break the game that way. There's no documentation that tells me that my grenades are going to list to the right unless I use this perk, because it doesn't exist. There's no documentation that says that claymores and landmines will only take out certain people, because it's supposed not to exist. There's no documentation that says that when I shoot on certain players, they're going to get some sort of protection because of whatever, because it's supposed not to exist. But yet, and still, it's happening, which breaks the game. Number 8, if people leave the lobby during a match, sus players have access to join the lobby. Now, I don't see that too often, but I've seen it less than a handful of times where all of a sudden people who are known to be cheaters, because it's already shown they've been reported, have access to get into the lobby. And that shouldn't be. They're going to rage hack. They're going to do whatever it takes for a moment, and they're going to do everything in their power to get their money's worth out of the cheat that they're using. Number 9. Losing team is gifted additional points. This one right here is a new one. I've not seen this in Vanguard. I have not seen this in Cold War. I have not seen this in 2019, but I have seen it in Modern Warfare 2 and 3. This is a new one where you're winning. There's nothing sus going on. Everyone's playing like they normally play. My team is better. We have them beat 60-20. And all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I don't understand it, what I've seen is they're just gifted 5 points for every kill that they make in team deathmatch. Now I'm talking about just as an example. And I know it's happened in domination too, but I'm talking about team deathmatch right now. One of my teammates are down. They jumps from 20 to 25. They down another teammate. It jumps from 25 to 30. They down another teammate. Jumps from 30 to 35, and so on. We all huddle. We say, okay, let's stop dying here, because they're now all of a sudden getting 5 more extra points that they should be getting. Let's all huddle together. We're going to head glitch. We're going to hide behind corners, cars, whatever, and we're going to let them come to us, because their score is now going higher than it should. EOMM breaks the mechanics of the game. Now we wait for them and we try to kill them and take them out, and we barely win. Right? Score ends 100-95, something like that, but we wind up winning. That shouldn't be in the game. Number 10, your score streaks actually turn on you when EOMM is turned up. Score streaks are not supposed to attack the innocent player. Who calls them? We all know that. It's not something new. It's not something I need to explain or elaborate on. Yet it happens. I have a video right now involving a score streak, the Swarm, actually targeting me and taking me out. Now, why did that happen? I was close to a nuke. Score streaks before season 4 didn't go towards getting a nuke. At least for me, it didn't. Because I was still close, the engagement optimized matchmaking decided to say, score streak, take him out. Number 11, I want to discuss with you what I talked about earlier about that certain player, how I'm going to relate everything I just said about that certain player in number 11. There seems to be some sort of protection bubble around certain players, whether they're your teammates, which you'll never really know about because you're not going to observe them to know that it's happening. But when they become your opponents, you see it, where the game mechanics break for them. What happens is that claymores, landmines, kill streaks have no real effect on them. Score streaks will ignore them. You will not be able to throw grenades at them. Throwing stars will go to the side. throwing knives will go to the side. You will not be able to throw anything at them with accuracy. Your reticle or your center dot will whip back and forth like a windshield wiper around them. All these things are happening to this particular player. Number 12, ricochet mitigations that supposedly be reserved for cheaters, I have seen happen on innocent players like myself. For example, cloaking. I've seen players disappear and reappear right in front of me. I've actually gone in a room, there was a guy hiding in the corner. I never saw him. I didn't see him. It's not like he was blended into the walls. He just wasn't there. When I saw it in the death cam replay, he was there all along and just as bright and visible as anything else. Doesn't happen too often, but again, certain player. Damage shield, where bullets do no damage. I'm pretty sure all of you have experienced that. And experienced that with, ta-da, certain player. Quicksand, which is a slowdown of legit players, supposedly decommissioned, but your aim, down sight, movement, strife, and reloading are all reduced. This is supposed to be against cheaters, but innocent people are experiencing this. And these are the 12 examples I've found playing cards since Modern Warfare 2019 all the way up to Modern Warfare 3. They will hinder your gameplay experience or just flat out rig the match. So I do thank you for your time. Have a nice day.